So I'm just hiding behind this wall because it is windy, as you might have heard on the mic. Yes, I've escaped again. I know it's indecent, but somebody has to. Somebody has to. So come on, join me, escape with me. I've got a great adventure for you. If you don't hear much from us as I'm walking along, because it's very windy and there's not much point in me doing this if you can't hear us. But I'm still here, don't worry. Who do you think's holding the camera? flock of geese here, greylags. I noticed some lapwings as well. That's nice to see them back. We'll see how the greylags welcome me. There's a whole load of oyster catchers here. Don't know if you'll catch them on this little camera. Very nice to see. Oh, I could have done without that. I took the wrong path and went across. Tried to cut across a marsh, and you know, it was better than I thought, wasn't it? There's always somewhere you've got to cross, isn't there? See how we get on. We're going to have a game on finding a good pitch tonight because as you can see, the ground is sodden. We've had quite heavy rain and snow, and then it's got cold, and then it's melted, and then anyhow the ground's sodden, and it's like sort of a peaty turf here anyway, so it just soaks it up like a sponge. There's a lot of sphagnum moss about. That soaks it up as well, so I'm going to have to be careful where I pitch. But the one good thing is the wind's died down here. I've come around the corner of the River Tees, just round a bend, and I'm surrounded by these two big hills. I'll show you. And this shelter is lovely, so if we can find a nice spot, it'd be great. It's good to see they've replaced quite a few of these boardwalks actually, because the last time I was here it was dreadful. They were falling apart, they were rotten, and you really were getting wet. But that was possibly 5 years ago. You know how time flies. And that is why I use a water filter and a boiler, because that's a stream running down into the Tees there. If you take your water from the Tees, you're going to get, well, everything in it, don't you? You know, dead animals, sheep droppings, bird droppings. But with a good filter, and if you boil it, you're absolutely fine. A lot safer than tap water most of the time, I think. At least it hasn't got fluoride in it. Well, I've decided on a pitch. I'm going to keep away from the river just because it's noisy. and it's really quite peaceful across here, away from the river. Only about 30 yards away. It's quite sheltered. There's a breeze, decent breeze, but it's not too bad. And there's a little stream just right next to us, just there. So the river is just at the foot of that big hill there. That's the river, and there's a little stream just coming off it, which I'll use for my water. And then that's my beautiful view. So we'll not hang about, we'll put it straight there. This happened. It's pretty much a whiteout. Coming down the valley, it's pretty heavy. So I'm going to get in and get warm. It's mad. So already it's drifting up at this side. And it's only been snowing literally, I would say, less than 10 minutes. So by the looks of things, this isn't going to be just a little covering. Here's hoping we survive the night. So as you can see, we've got the kettle on, and as you can also see, we're covered in snow. The forecast did say snow, so I shouldn't act surprised, but it came so suddenly I couldn't believe it. 1 minute it was really quite bright, quite sunny actually, you know, a bit of cold, but and then we came around this bend in the River Tees, and the wind seemed to die down. Found a nice spot to pitch the tent, and I could see, because we're sort of in a valley, you can't see the weather coming across until it's on you, and I could see that it was getting grey. And as I sort of, well, when I pitched my tent, I put it upside down, didn't I, to begin with. Stuck all 4 pegs in, and then realised it was upside down. So I wasted time. And then I could see that the sky was dark grey, charcoal. Yeah, and it came down. It just caught me unawares. And I just see it got the outer tent up and got in it, basically, before it really started. Such fun. Oh, desperate need for that. I hadn't really drank much on the way up. Actually, had kind of forgotten, and you forget that when it's cold weather, you kind of forget to drink and you end up dehydrated. Something I must show you, because when I got in the tent after putting all the pegs in and guying it out and all the rest of it, my fingers were actually dropping off. I mean, they were really, really numb. And I don't know if you've seen these things before, little hand warmers, and you put them in boiling water, and it sort of stores the heat in this little metal disc in them. And then when you need them, you basically just like sort of snap the little metal disc that's in the gel inside, and voila, heat. Yeah, except I couldn't snap the little metal disc, because my fingers were numb. So that's a warning to you, sounds like a great idea. I was desperate to get that working and to warm my hands up, because they were really, really numb. But I just get my fingers to work. I could not find the little disc in there. I couldn't feel it, basically. So because I couldn't feel it, I was just sort of squeezing and pulling it this way and pulling it that way and bending it and hoping that it would just react. Because once you've sort of snapped it, it reacts, and that's lovely and warm now, that. But could I hell do it? My hands were dropping off. So the one good thing about it snowing is the wind's died down. It's actually warmer than it was. Especially when you've got a cuppa inside you. But I'll give you a look on the tent, see what you think. so far so good. She's holding up alright. I hope this doesn't go all night, otherwise we're going to be totally happed up. But this is what it's all about, isn't it? Adventure. It's you know, it's good. It's good fun. I was going to say, it's trying to get blue sky. Honestly, I can't believe there's actually like hints of blueness. It's hard to believe so much has fallen in such little time. I'm just going to clear it away from the tent a bit. Give it a fighting chance. Rather pretty, I think. March the 14th, is it? Yeah. Middle of March. We always get this though. We always get snow in March. Sometimes April as well. And then you get lovely mild days as well. So this river, the River Tees, starts off at Crossfell. On the top of the Pennines, it's 2,900 feet. It's a big one, you know. It's nearly as big as nearly as big as Helvellyn. Little stream runs down off Crossfell down into Cowgreen Reservoir, which was made about 50-60 years ago. Can't remember the exact date. 1960s, I believe. Big dam up there. Below that is Cauldron Snout, which is a huge waterfall, which I've shown in another video. Cauldron Snout is just up the river here, literally just round the bend from me. And then it comes down here, where we are, round the bend, round Cronkley Scar, which is what I just walked round. Over High Force, which is high. We saw that today. Down to Low Force is where we began. So I'm just getting some water there to filter for my dinner and my coffee later, because I have a feeling, just looking at the sky, and it might come again and I'll be in for the night. But just look at the colour of this water. Very peaty. Very peaty indeed. But once we filter it and boil it, it'll be fine. So I've been experimenting again. I know it doesn't look super appetizing at the moment, but there's mincemeat, onion, peas, carrots, gravy, all in that bag, and it weighs 160 grams. 160 grams, nothing to carry. I mean, even if you were taking a week's worth, you're only going to come up to about a kilogram in food for good meals on a night. And that there's half a pound of meat in there, believe it or not, which was dehydrated down to 160 grams. You know, I put a Knorr stock cube in there, like a chicken stock cube. Got some mixed herbs in, got some black pepper, salt, a bit HP sauce and gravy, and it all just dehydrates down. So when I stick some hot water on there and leave it for about 8 to 10 minutes, it'll be a beautiful hot pot. You'll see, honestly. I know, because when I did the one in the lakes, that was the first time, and I was a little bit sort of apprehensive, was it going to work? But it worked, it really did work, and it was lush. So added a few more ingredients, a little bit more taste, and I'm really looking forward to this. So we'll stick with yellow water in the kettle. Doesn't look very appetising, yellow water, does it? It's just the peat. It's peaty land we're on. And while we're waiting for the kettle to boil, I think we'll have a little appetizer, if I can get my fingers to work. Oh, you bugger. Cheers. Ah, very good, very good. It's not bad, this, is it? A palace in here. I mean, for a one-man tent, this Durston Xmid has tons of room. I can sit up. My head's nowhere near the roof. I've got room to cook. In the other area, I forgot the word, vestibule. The other vestibule, I've got my 65 litre pack out the way, tucked out the way. I've got room here to sit. I'm sat like sort of inside the bed area with my feet out, because I've still got my boots on, and the wet and the all snowy and ice, and yeah. But I don't want to take them off yet in case I need to go out and just check things before I turn in for the night. So not a bad day, actually. Again, I was watching the forecast. I always do. About 3 days before I'm, hoping to go away. And then 2 days, and then 1 day. And it changes, and it was, 90% chance of precipitation. But looking at the temperatures it was going to be, in the minuses, I knew that meant snow, not rain. And I was looking at Yorkshire, I was looking at the borders, the Scottish borders, and the temperatures were warmer there, but that meant rain. And I'd rather have snow as rain. I mean, I might change my mind in the morning if I'm totally happed up, but talking about -6 at the weather station at Langdon Beck, which is a few miles from here, and it's a bit lower than here. So -6 during the night. We're a bit higher, with the wind chill the same -9. So, but we'll be fine. We'll be fine, because we've got a decent 4-season bag. We'll have a good hot meal inside of us, and we'll be all nice and warm, and it'll be good. And I've got porridge in the morning, so it's all I look forward to. Oh, that's the kettle boiling. So that's the pouch filled full of hot water. I never know how much to put in, to be honest with you. It's a guessing game. Give it a good stir, top it up again, stir again, top it up again, sealed it up, and I'll wait about 8 to 10 minutes. And I'm really looking forward to this. I mean, real mince hot pot, that you've made yourself. No additives, no E numbers, no ingredients that you can't even bloody pronounce. In all, for about that worked out about £2.70. That's what it worked out. For the whole meal, £2.70, and well over 1,000 calories. Like it's it's a good meal. So we have that to look forward to. It's not half bad now the sun's got out. You can't believe it, can you? I thought I was going to be stuck in for the night. Well, it's moment of truth. With the hot pot, we'll have a look. Oh my God. Oh my God. I've got to say, this really works. Don't you wish you were me? Come on. Come on. Look at that. Look at this. Oh. So just look at my view. See what you think of this. Not bad. There's worse things in life, isn't there? Just think I could be sat in front of the telly right now. You know. Come on. You'd much rather be doing this, wouldn't you? No? Oh well. It's really nice. It is really nice. Oh yes, she's boiling. Well folks, I've got myself into bed. The temperature has dropped significantly. You know when it's dropped when you can't undo your bootlaces because they're solid. They're like pieces of wire. And the tent itself, all the little droplets are frozen solid. All the little droplets on the inside, on the outside are frozen solid. And when I came to zip it down, I had to do it really, really careful. Because it was just so stiff. Everything was so stiff. Everything's just really dropped. It is nithering, absolutely freezing, I must admit. I don't have a way of measuring it, but I'm definitely well down in the minuses now. So I've got myself a cup of coffee. I'm not stupid. I am going to have a little protein bar. I'm going to drink this coffee. And I'm going to get tucked up. And I'll see you lot in the morning. Good night. I don't know if you can see this. This is... yeah. Well, I don't mind telling you, I had to deploy the hot water bottle. And you might laugh that I bring a hot water bottle with this, but I've got a dodgy back. So you always bring it with this, no matter what the weather. If my sciatic is playing up, the hot water bottle helps. But if it gets down this cold as well, it helps as well. And the last time I felt this cold, a couple of months ago, I had to go down to London in the van. And it's not a camper van. I've got a camper van, but I didn't take that. I just took the little works van. And so it's not panelled out. It's just a small van. It's just a little metal box in the back. And I thought, oh, I'll be all right, just sleep in the back. And when I went in the back of the van to go to sleep, it was -8. And I was fine. I got all wrapped up and everything, and I was okay. And I woke up about 3, and I could hardly, move. It was so cold. And I turned on the ignition and it said -11. Now it felt that cold last night, except then I had the option of turn the engine on and get the heater going. Here I had a hot water bottle. That's what I had. So I'm gonna get the kettle on. Wow, it is cold. Whew. So the good thing is, I've got nice warm water out of my hot water bottle. Put it in the kettle rather than a frozen, icy bottle to try and melt. So at least that's something. me tell you, that's a welcome sight first thing in the morning. Kettle on, coffee ready to go in the boot, and some homemade porridge. I'm ready for it. I was warm enough in the bag, in the sleeping bag, but I was just really starting to feel it. I thought, I'm not going to wait till it gets colder. So, like I say, I deployed the hot water bottle. Thought I'd rather be too warm as too cold, so. Oh. Smell of coffee first thing in the morning. It's a dream. I slept okay actually, but every time I woke up, my nose was freezing, absolutely freezing. I need this so much. You should just get some heat inside you, and porridge will do the job for that. So there, she's looking good as new again. Once all the ice and snow's off her, and the sun's playing the game, it's just peeking over. Hopefully we'll get some heat off that, because it's a nippy morning. So as I've been brushing that on the inside, all the ice that accumulated on the inside of the tent has fallen off and covered me inner tent, which I dropped to the floor here, ready to fold up. So just a little tip, guys. This is some foil insulation, which I've just, it will cover the whole area if I wanted it to, but I've doubled it up so it's just underneath my bed, and it was just an offcut. If you ask at a builders, any builders you know, whether it's building houses or if you've ever used it yourself, it's ideal. I mean, people use Tyvek, but I prefer this just because it is totally waterproof, and it's reflective, so it reflects the heat back on you. So it's a good idea to put underneath your mat when you're sleeping in the winter. So the beauty about this being able to drop the inner tent, you can wipe down all your condensation afterwards on the inside, so you're not putting a totally soaking tent away. And as you can see, that's my condensation. Yeah, exactly. I'll just show you this. I got a little tip from it was actually, I was looking to buy the Hex Peak tent. Actually, that was another one I thought of. And the guy that was selling the Hex Peak tent online, he had this tip of putting a tennis ball at the bottom of your trekking pole, so that it doesn't sink into the ground and it doesn't spoil your cork handles. Good tip, I think. So there we go. Leave no trace apart from a dry bit of grass, which will you'll not notice once all this snow melts. So now we've got to head up this valley and up this hill to a cairn at the top of Cronkey Fell. So yeah, I have to say that was a bit of a challenge, that one. Didn't expect it to get quite as cold as that. I mean, I saw the forecast, it said, you know, -6. But until you're lying on the ground in the snow and you actually feel more than -6, then you don't realise just how cold it is. But that's what life's about, challenging yourself It's about escaping, isn't it? It's about doing something out of the ordinary. We all go to work, we look after the kids, we go shopping, we do the mundane things. You know, it's good to get out of your comfort zone, I think, now and again, and do something adventurous. Oh, oh, oh. I really feel like this freezing weather, this last snow blast that we've had last night, it feels like the death throes of winter. It feels like the last of it, really. It's the middle of March now, 15th I believe, 15th of March, and I feel as though, I don't know, I'm a little sad, because although we rejoice, you know, at the light nights, the warmer weather, the sun coming into spring, and the daffodils and the crocuses and everything's already out, aren't they? They're starting to come out now. And although we rejoice at that, I really enjoyed this winter. I've had quite a few adventures, and I quite like the dark nights and snuggling up, you know, either around a fire or snuggling in your sleeping bag and getting warm, and warm meals, and I don't know, maybe I'm just a bit strange. So I'm just stopping for a breather and looking at the valley where I came up. I camped just down there, following the flow of the River Tees upstream. That cliff you see there is called Falcon Clints. I saw a bird yesterday which was sort of sparring with a big blackbird. The blackbird looked like a raven. I don't know if there's ravens in this area, but maybe just a big rook, crow, I'm not sure. But the smaller hawk looked very much, the speed and agility of it, very much like a falcon. I'm not sure, I couldn't see it close enough. Definitely wasn't a kestrel. Different shape, different colouring. I'd like to think it was a falcon, and those Falcon Clints were named after the falcons that come here. Just round the corner there is Cauldron Snout. You can't get to it from here, the big waterfall, without crossing the River Tees, which I'm not prepared to do. I hope this bunny rabbit's going the right way, because that's who I'm following. Now we're heading for that cairn at the top. If I ever get to the top. Whew, it's steep. So I'm just looking back on my view there. The wind has fairly got up on the top here. Not going to be able to speak too much, it's a bit gusty. Whew. But I actually thought about going the other side of the river, you know, last night, and walking up the Tees, up Cauldron Snout, up to Tower Green Reservoir and camping up there. But it's 200 feet higher and it's totally exposed. So if I thought that was cold last night, that would have been the minus double figures, definitely, without a doubt. Totally exposed, you would have been nithering, you know. I was nithering, but that would have been, I think that would have been too much for us. So I'm glad I didn't do that. So we're heading over Cronkley Fell now and back down the Tees.
Someone told me not to take a chance on love. Someone told me not to wait. It slumbers by, true as the sun.
Although we're still in County Durham, and you wouldn't think you would get wilderness in County Durham. This is true wilderness. It's as close as you're going to get. I mean, you have a fall, an accident here, you're on your own. Sunny day like yesterday, there's a lot of walkers out. You know, they might catch you, but on a day like this, you can lie here for hours, if not days. And yet I love it.
As the sun shines warm on my face, you hold my heart in place.
My footprint next to it so you can see what size the actual footprint is. It's a paw print of some sort of animal. Can't work it out. We've been falling for a while. So lots of rabbits and grouse prints. That's got me baffled. And it's on a postcard. Now drop it down in the comments if you know what that is. I haven't got a clue.
Someone told me not to take a chance on love. Someone told me not to wait. It slumbers by, true as the sun shines warm on my face. You hold my heart in place.
So that was just one last shot of high force there. Never get sick of just looking at the majesty of that gorgeous waterfall. We're heading back down to low force and then onto the van and then home. Get some logs on the fire, nice bowl of soup, cup of coffee. Sounds good. Hope you enjoyed that adventure as much as I did. And it was an adventure, wasn't it? If you like what I do, hit subscribe, give us a like, and I'll see you on the next one. You take care.